All right, what's going on YouTube? I'm gonna let a few people jump on. We're gonna keep this video kind of short because it's getting dark, but I wanted to fill you guys in on where everything is at. My internet connection may be a little bit touchy. It always is at my place. So if we have problems, I'll end up just stopping the video. But for those of you who are interested in the build and aren't quite ready to wait to see what's next, figure I would just do a live update, answer some questions really quick before it gets dark. And again, disclaimer, hopefully the internet connection here is decent enough to do this for a little bit, because I do live in pretty far out of town. So but anyway, this is what we're looking at. Jeep is gutted out. It's a lot of work to get to this point. We already got people commenting, what's up, man? But yeah, we were debating earlier on Facebook on my page, like what we should put in here, and Jeff Vu, the builder of my subs, was like 615s, man, let's do it. So we just decided I'm doing 615s in a flat wall, and it'll be on 30,000 watts hopefully. So yeah, that's a little bit of something for you guys to think about when we get through this build. Hopefully it turns out good. But yeah, I got this thing out in about 3 days of actual work time. One day I worked on it, next day I would take a break, and the next day I'd work on it, and that was only 4 hours a day because I'm still working full time, but just from home. But since I'm home, I do have more time during the day now since I don't commute. But yeah, so this should be very violent, very loud, and a lot of fun. It's been a long time since I've seen the Jeep opened up like this, but I figured it's a Thursday night. Maybe you guys haven't been out very much because of this whole virus thing going on, so you see an update video, and we'll do it for a little bit. I'm kind of bored, just kind of waiting on what I want to do with this thing. I just cleaned up my Civic and took it out for a ride. Just cleaned up, did some polish, and put some sealer on the ceramic coating, and got it all tidied up for now, just because I had nothing better to do. But I think I'm going to switch gears back to the Jeep. I need to finish pulling this floor out. That's the remainder of the floor. And again, if the internet connection kind of goes bad, then I apologize. Have a hard time out here, and my router's kind of on the wrong end of the house. I'm on the far end. But for those of you who remember the Jeep way back when it had the 218s flat wall, this is still that enclosure. That enclosure basically would, well, what am I saying? That enclosure is this, and when I built for the 612s, I just basically knocked the front and back off that enclosure and extended it. But this is the original enclosure when I very first walled, and it's finally coming out. So we'll be back to a clean slate in the Jeep. We'll be doing a lot of things. I want to do more mids and highs in the cab, so we'll be building a console, so that'll be a fun video at some point. I want to build a custom console, and then we'll obviously have videos on the wall build. I'm teaming up with Bobby Gately at Gately Audio, and we're gonna maybe try to pull off the first like kit wall where he will, on his CNC machine, cut all the parts out to my specifications. I'll draw it up in AutoCAD, send him all those files, he can cut it all up. I go pick up that stuff so that we're not contacting each other, you know, because social distancing, and I bring it all home, and I can assemble it for the most part without a bunch of cutting and custom fabrication, at least for the majority of the wall. We're still working out if that's even feasible, because it is a lot that we have to take into account in order to make a wall fit perfectly. But we might try that, and it might be like the first order to go wall anyone's ever built, so it could be cool. He uses really good materials, and so I think it'll be no problem if I can get a good enough design that perfectly fits the vehicle during my assembly. Let me look at your guys' comments real quick, just so I can catch up here. Let's see. So everyone's talking about their systems. Looks like some cool stuff. Everyone's gonna start building. It's a good time to build if if you got the stuff and the money, I guess. My fear is this economy and everything, and I'm not quite sure I want to go out and just buy a bunch of equipment. Luckily, I have a lot of equipment from my old build, but I will be expanding, so we'll see where it goes. But we're definitely excited. It may be a little bit slower than I originally anticipated now that this virus thing has taken hold, but for now we're still full steam ahead, and I'm gonna be doing some crazy stuff. I plan to cut the wheel wells and kick them out, like the opposite of tubbing, basically, so that I have more room within the vehicle to build the box wider. And that means I gotta space these wheels out, and I'm gonna be probably getting a different axle with disc brakes put under here, so I get a custom built 4 to 8.8 rear end put on the Jeep, and I want to do a little bit more lift on it, so it'll be taller in the front to kind of match where the rear is sitting, because now that it's empty, it's quite a bit taller, and I'm not replacing as much weight, I don't think. So I think the rear end will end up ultimately being taller than the front, and that means I have to just raise the front. So we'll be going through the vehicle itself. So we'll be doing videos on that and going through all that stuff. And then I want to redo the doors a little bit, just kind of clean them up, like sand them down, restain them, fix all the magnets for all the trim panels, the beauty panels, because they kept falling off. But yeah, so I figured I'd give you guys a quick update. We got 40 watching, so that's really cool. Hope you guys are liking the videos so far. I'm trying to take a different approach of just recording as much as I can of me working and doing things, and then later doing a narration on top of that helps me get points across a little better. I tend to be a little bit talkative and repeat myself, so I'm hoping like the over narration of just all the video makes it easier for me to work, so I'm not having to like constantly talk to the camera while I'm knee deep into the Jeep. And then it hopefully makes a cleaner, more consistent video to kind of present exactly what I was working on. So part 2 will be coming up hopefully this weekend. I'll be out here working on this a little bit tomorrow, and then I think we get some rain, but we'll see. So back to you guys' questions. We're getting comments. Freebase music. Oh yeah, I need to get back to you. I'm sorry. I have your email, so I'll get on that. Single 15. Yeah, I think I have. I'm pretty sure we were talking, I think it was last week, and I got sidetracked because I got started on the Jeep, so I apologize. What amps I'm going with? I already got 3 DC 5Ks, so I'll be adding 3 more to make it easy. Damn it, it's dark in LA, man. Well, it's not dark here quite yet in Northern California. We got a couple more minutes of sun. I'm building for numbers, but musical numbers. So I would like to do like a 162, 163 on the glass, and be able to demo the crap out of it. So that's my idea. We're going with the DC subs. At the moment, still using Jeff's. He's agreed to rebuild the tops for me so I can use his motors, and I already have 6, so that perfectly works out for 615s. And then, but they can't handle 30,000 watts. So depending on the timeline of like how this virus goes down and what I want to spend on this thing, we'll start maybe with his subs on the 3 5Ks, because that's already a good pair and matchup. And then when I'm ready to expand, I'm going to do the level 615s on 6 5Ks. So I'm going to leave this thing totally open and ready for expansion. I've already got the electrical sorted out. I have tons of lithium to put in this thing, way more than I'll need. So I'm very happy with that. Logan says he liked the time-lapse videos, so that's good. That means, I can compress and get all my work into a somewhat short and concise video and then just narrate what I have to. So hopefully you guys like that video format, because I do get wordy. Like even right now, I probably am saying things over and over again, but that's how I am. So anyway, get another comment here. It's gonna be great. I have a quick question. SMD output meter for your sub when I hook up reading as full power. Is it reading like as full power? I'm not exactly sure how to answer your question. Basically those output meters are just basically sampling the output voltage of your amplifier, and it's showing you, like, if you set it up correctly, it's showing you where you finally get like into distortion. But normally to calibrate one of those, I'm not sure if that one needs calibrated, but I would think you need the distortion detector in order to help calibrate that. And basically it's translating output voltage of your amplifier to the decibel output, like not of the actual loudness of your subs, but like the decibel output of the music. I don't know how to explain it any better, but like the music's going to have like a 0 dB track or negative 5 dB track, which means like negative 5 dB is quieter music than 0 dB music. So if you have that thing calibrated correctly, it's going to be telling you, like, you know, are you reaching 0 dB? Is this track bringing your subs to that 0 dB music volume? I think that's the best I can explain it. I don't have personal experience with the output meter. I don't have them. So that might be a good thing to go ask Steve, or, you know, maybe he has a video on it. But even turn the switch down, max, still at full power. Okay, so it is it looks like it can be calibrated. I don't know exactly how to answer your question because, like I said, I don't have personal experience with those. I just know a little bit about them. But it might be like the way you have it hooked up, or the output voltage is too high for it. I'm not entirely sure how those work. So, like I said, maybe try to find out if Steve has any information posted. I'm sure he does on the SMD forum or wherever. Only question, you going bigger and going louder? Of course, we're going bigger and louder. That's for sure. So, anyway, what dB range I'm going for? I would like this thing to meter 162, 163 on the glass, and maybe a 165 in the kick. That would be pretty damn violent, and I would be happy right there. I don't think I would mess with it after that. But I am going to do 615s on 6.5Ks at the end of the whole build. Like I said earlier, like, I'm going to start out with 6 of Jeff's 15s on 3.5Ks because they only can take 3.5Ks. And then when I'm ready, I'll swap out for the DC level 6 15s, which can take 6.5Ks. So we'll have plenty of power. I already have a lot of that equipment. My electrical is going to be very strong. I have 260 amp hours of lithium, limitless lithium to go in here. And then my 2 600 amp alternators. So should have tons of backup power reserves, and I'm sticking with 12 volt setup. I'm a simple guy. I like 12 volt. I don't want to mess with you know, the step downs and all that comes with going to a higher voltage. But that's where that is. It's getting dark out here, so we'll start wrapping this up, but I'll get a few more of your questions before we go. He was answering my question. I lost signal about the SMD meter. So basically, I was trying to explain the SMD meter, but I don't know how to exactly explain it, at least correctly, because I don't have any personal experience with the SMD output meter. So I was saying maybe you should go check out his forum or his YouTube, and he might have a video going over that. Or you could try to contact him by email. I think it's West Coast Car Audio at something.com. I'm sure you can find it on his site. He will be able to get you a way better answer than me because I don't have any personal experience with that particular unit. everything out here is cool. It's been out on my property. Luckily, I got property. I haven't left for anything, except I took this out for a drive today because I've been stuck in the house for 2 weeks and had to get out. But we're hanging out pretty good. There's no problems here. You should be able to, yeah, I can run the older Jeep at higher voltage, but I don't want to deal with it. I have 12 volts set up, and all my batteries that I just got are all for 12 volt. I should be charging around 15 like I did with my full throttle batteries, and I don't plan to mess with it. I don't want to touch the alternators. They work, and I don't really care about going higher voltage. I mean, people get more numbers out of it and, you know, more power out of their amps, but I don't really care. But yeah, it'll charge at about 14.8, 15. So I mean, that's decent voltage anyways. But I'd like to hit a 62 at like 40 hertz, something like that. Like this thing was doing 62 in the kick with the 612s at 38 hertz, and I felt like that was a healthy place. So if I set up a flat wall and I get everything worked out, hopefully I can do the 62 then on the glass, and then in the kick have a gain and maybe be like closer to a 65. I would like more than a 62 on the glass. I would hope I could get like 63 or so. You know, so we'll see. I've built stuff that loud. I know I can do it. It's just a matter of getting it done. So, yep. Anyway, guys, it's getting dark out here. So, try to wrap this up. You could do a dual alternator and keep your stock alternator. I already have a dual alternator on this. I have 2 self-exciting alternators, so I have over 600 amps of charging power, but at a charging voltage of around 14.8 to 15 volts, and so that's what I'll keep it at. But yeah, hopefully it smashes. Give you guys a little bit of an update, but we're getting dark out here, so I don't know if you guys want to stick around any longer or not, but I was bored, so I figured I'd upload, because I hurt my back actually trying to beat this thing out, and so I've had to kind of lay low the last few days, and I haven't wanted to work on this thing until I you know, rested. But yeah, it's out. All right, guys, stay tuned for the next video. I really appreciate you guys following and watching and subscribing and everything that you do to help support me. Like I always say, you could buy a t-shirt. We got our t-shirts out. If you want to go to my website, JeepAndBass.com. You know, that really helps support the build and the channel, and just try to keep you guys content. I know I sometimes lag on getting stuff out, but when I'm building, I definitely have chances to get video. So yeah, we have a question on the van. Now I'm gonna have to answer that. The van blew up another amp. So we basically just put a pause on the van. We broke an amp and 2 subs at Autorama, and we didn't get the score we wanted. We did about a 166, and it had issues. So we decided to stop where we were. We need to go back to the drawing board and kind of rework and retest that thing. The trouble is I never have put real testing time into that van. It's literally been just like, let's try this and go to the show, and let's try this and go to the show. And then every time it's like, well, that kind of worked, but then it broke. Or that really worked, but then we changed it again and then it broke. So that's where the van's at. With this whole virus thing going on, and we just decided to put a pause on it, get our funds back up for repairing those amplifiers that we lost, and getting more, getting the speakers rebuilt. And then Rusty at DC Audio was talking about possibly getting us a prototype set of subwoofers. So we're hoping that, you know, that thing can get louder maybe towards the end of this year or whenever we actually get back out to competitions. But she's safe, and she's sitting at Craig's house. So that's the Astro. Do I still have the box for the PSI 12s? No, I sold that thing probably right around the time I built this wall originally, and I regret it every day because I've really liked that setup. I still have the design for that, and I always thought maybe I could recreate it someday. in this Jeep or a different Jeep or whatever, but this one's going to be walled, so we're gonna hold off on that. But all right, guys, I'm gonna head out too. Appreciate you guys checking in, but we're getting dark and you can't see anything, and that's what's going on. But appreciate it, guys. Stay tuned. I should try to get that part 2 up this weekend of kind of, you know, the last bit of progress in ripping this thing out. But I'll let you guys go. Till next time, like, subscribe, comment on all the videos. If you're bored, go check them out. Thanks, everyone.